Run it up, then run it back. Run it up, then run it back. Run it up.
Good Thursday morning. Thursdays are our... Yes, they are.
Starts now,
at least till after Super Bowl, and then everything changes. But we are here bright and early. Charania, we're going to get to him in 2 seconds. Chandler Parsons, Danny Green on the end. At 5:13 this morning, I had a notification. That is too early for a Sham scoop, but yet...
Was it really 5:13?
It was 5:13. I'll never forget it. What happened?
Wes Unseld Jr. out as head coach of the Washington Wizards, and this is a team that has struggled, obviously, this season to get wins. They're in a developmental stage in their franchise. Michael Winger came in as the president, Will Dawkins as the general manager, and the firing was going to take place over the summer, regardless of really how the season was going to go. That's what a lot of people around the league believed. So the Wizards get a head start on their coaching process, but also are able to continue their development from within. The job simply had changed from when Wes Unseld Jr. had come over. I mean, that was a team that was thought to be competitive in the Eastern Conference. They wanted to be competitive around Bradley Beal, and at that point, Spencer Dinwiddie, Kyle Kuzma, they had in. And so he did a great job with player development. I think you can credit him with Danny Avdija, Kyle Kuzma, Tyus Jones, Daniel Gafford. But at the end of the day, the wins just did not add up. And this is a team that is trying to focus on development right now. Brian Keefe will be promoted as the interim head coach. I do think this job will have a level of attractiveness,
really?
The stability, the structure. Also, DC's the market of DC, I think, has a level of attraction. Now, it's not, part of Chandler's top cities list.
No, it's not.
But I think for guys, there will be some level of attraction to this job. Stability, structure being too big.
It's a soft firing, right? Like he's not
it's like
booted.
Milwaukee opened the floodgates, right? They're like, if we can do it this soon, this guy definitely can go, after 2 seasons. But look, this is a tough gig. I feel like this is a tough hand to be dealt. I will say, me and Danny were talking about before, the best thing about this job moving forward is they have time. You can't expect whoever you hire, it's not just going to be this miracle switcheroo where now they're good and now they're competing. This team has a couple pieces. They don't really have that much talent on this roster, so I think everybody is kind of tradable except the rookie from France that people like, the big upside.
Bilal Coulibaly.
Yep, there it is.
I didn't want to even try to say
Yeah,
his
but
name.
I wanted you to. And that's all that matters.
Yeah, listen, I think this is a tough gig. He was doomed from jump here on this job. It's a pretty bad situation, and I think DC's fine, but I don't think this is a place where people are going to want to go there, especially with this current roster. So again, I think the job that someone's going to get, they have time, kind of like a Jamal Mosey taking the Orlando job. There's no expectations early, and then when you have a start like this, then all of a sudden, whoa, you look really smart, you look really good. So I think it will be an attractive job to a point, but it's not a lot of talent on that roster.
Yeah, I don't think it's that attractive.
Interesting.
But like I said, given the situation, the expectation is low. They do have a lot of time, like Chandler said. But I just can't see. I don't know who you keep. I don't know who you build around.
Who do you keep
Who do
again?
you bring in? I don't know.
Everyone on this roster is available for trade.
Even
besides
Coulibaly?
Bilal Coulibaly.
There it is.
Their top draft pick that they picked last year, that's their guy. I mean, listen, they do have guys that I think teams individually would want, right? Like Kyle Kuzma, Tyus Jones, Danny Avdija, DeLon Wright, Daniel Gafford. These are all guys. I mean, that's 5 players I just named, Michelle. I think all 3 of those guys, they can get value for on the trade market. The question just is, how much value do you get? Do you trade Kyle Kuzma for just 1 first? Probably want 2. Tyus Jones, you want 1 first. Can you get that? Do you settle for a few seconds at the deadline? These are all questions they're going to have to work through.
This is where I struggle. If I'm the Phoenix Suns, why don't I go and give up a pick and go get Tyus Jones right now?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like why don't I go and get a DeLon?
Well, they only have
Thought you wanted
second-round
Kyle
picks, though.
Lowry.
Give something to help your team right now when you know this team's about to blow it up. You know everyone's on the board except the French rookie.
Bilal Coulibaly.
Yeah.
Nailed it.
But you know what I mean? There are like Kispert, like Lakers. You need some shooting. There's a shooter right there. It's probably become available. So they do have assets. Oklahoma City Thunder. I could see Daniel Gafford as another big body.
And both people leading that organization, Thunder alums from Sam Presti's tree.
So there are some pieces I think that teams will find attractive, but this team assembled here they're 7-36 for a reason.
Just selling it for parts.
I still would
That's
think
where
with the
we are.
time, it's going to be tough. Whoever gets this job is going to be a tough situation, regardless of who gets it.
As long as they're realistic.
Even with the time, this is going to take a really long time, I think.
And they're going to fill it in with an interim because they're assuming there's going to be some more firings this year, so they'll have a
good Lord.
bigger pot to choose
I mean, when the Thunder went with Mark Daigneault, I mean, he was out of nowhere too from the G League, and now he's thought of as a Coach of the Year candidate.
That's
so
what you
I'm
need.
sure whoever that next coach of the Wizards is, I mean, they're not bringing in Doc Rivers.
No, Doc Rivers and Van Gundy and Nate Milton, they don't want this job. It's got to be someone like
It's going to be a developmental
Yeah.
guy. But I'm saying for that coach, a lot of stability there.
As long
For
as
sure.
the expectations are realistic, because if you bring someone in and you're like, you're not getting it done in a year, that's no, that's not happening. We had a game last night. Bucks played. Of course, it was their first game after the big news. They beat the Cavs, 126-116. Giannis had a triple-double, his 7th of the season. 3 in January, by the way, if you're keeping track. Damian Lillard had 28, Donovan with 23 and 8 assists. Afterwards, Giannis tweeted, "Count your blessings." Oh, man, is he going the cryptic tweet route? I can't get down with
Passive
that.
aggressive.
Look, the big three combined for 87 points. That's what happens, right? When you make a big move, you got to come out and show.
Well, we said yesterday, now the onus is on the players. They got what they wanted. They got the trade. They got the coach out. Now Doc Rivers is coming in. So now there's no one else to blame other than these players. So I expected them to come out motivated. I expected them to come out, play aggressive, defend. That's been the big topic, obviously, with their defensive numbers being so low. And what's weird to me is this team has the talent. They have the defensive capability with Jay Crowder, with Giannis, with Pat Connaughton. These guys can defend. So I think now they're just having this concentrated effort on that end. Because you can see when the big three is scoring 87 points, they are tough to stop. So you have to be able to defend and win games on that side when you're going to get big scoring on nights like this.
Yeah, and the toughest game of the year is when you're playing against a team that just made a coaching change.
Right.
For some reason, they always come out free,
this was a
different
lot.
energy,
Dancing.
refreshed, dancing a little bit, having fun. They're free. They're having a good time right now. But things will change as Doc gets there. They'll kind of get settled in. Hopefully, they keep that energy. But the first game after a coaching change, teams always come out, firing on all cylinders. So we all expected that. Those who've played anyway, seen it. And every time we play against a team like that, like, you know what? Damn it, we're in for a night.
timing.
We know they're gonna come out hitting everything. So.
You have a takeaway from the game last night?
Michelle, I have some news, actually.
Oh, here
I have
we
some
go.
news.
Here we go.
Doc Rivers is going to sign a contract with the Milwaukee Bucks through 2026-2023. So the next 3.5 years. This year, the rest of the season, and then 3 more years after that. No options, fully guaranteed contract in the range of $40 million. Sources tell me. So the Bucks are paying out now Mike Budenholzer $8 million
coaches?
this
Dear
season.
God.
Adrian Griffin about $4 million this season. And now Doc Rivers will get a prorated amount on his deal. They're going to be paying just under about $18 million for these 3 coaches this season.
Get a pretty good player for that.
That's insane. Should we all
We'll
work
get you a
for the
defender
Bucks?
for 18 million.
Yeah, that's we're just wasting money.
We talk about, but I will say, I will say,
Is Bud somewhere just right now?
the
hope
only
so.
task
Hope
on
so.
this team's agenda right now is winning a championship. And I think Doc Rivers, that's the pressure now that you have. You had Adrian Griffin as a first-year head coach, and I guess you could say it's a learning curve. There's some level of excuse if they didn't get the job done this year, right? He's a first-year head coach. There's no excuse.
And for
this
Doc,
team now.
too. Like,
they're all in.
this isn't the Wizards. This is picture inheriting this
I mean,
team.
come on now.
We're talking, and again, the defensive side of it doesn't make. Lopez was in the Defensive Player of the Year talks last year. Giannis can defend. Jay Crowder has been a great defender for his entire career. So it's like
He's been hurt, though, to be fair. He's been out for a while, so that's why they've been struggling.
Doc at least has the roster. So now, as long as he comes in and makes the proper adjustments, he wins over this locker room, he gets them enthusiastic and ready to play every single night, he's already going to be ahead. But man, paying 3 coaches.
The 3 coaches.
And a championship
that's
run.
some college football level.
Do they all 3
Win
get a
after
ring?
two.
If they win?
Great follow-up.
Griff would for
would,
sure.
right?
Mike Budenholzer's been fired, but he's definitely getting paid out. But yeah, I mean, listen, $40 million for 3.5 years. That's
I'll take it.
a good deal
throwing that
for
out.
Doc.
Congrats,
to the
Doc.
university.
Yeah.
Congrats.
Keep it
and
going, buddy.
We would like some
Keep it going.
loans. They're 25th in the league in points allowed, and you played for Doc. And we know you just went through the list of dudes we know can play defense.
Yeah.
Is he the guy to figure that out?
I think so, but the one thing he's at a disadvantage of is the midseason, he's not able to get the assistants that he wants. A lot of his assistants that we had in Philly have jobs. They're in Dallas, they're in Phoenix, they're in Detroit, they're in other places. So the guys that he's normally able to rely on that side of the ball defensively with defensive schemes and help him with that side of the ball are not available. I think he knows the schemes and can do it himself, but he usually has a good staff around him. Right now, it's going to be hard for him to find the staff that he wants to go alongside and figure this thing out.
I didn't even think about that. You kind of just have to do whatever's there already. The Cavs were on an 8-game winning streak, and now that, of course, has been snapped. But some of the opponents that they had beaten, I guess you could argue maybe weren't the top dogs in the league. So does that matter to you? Does it show you something? Should we maybe not take them as seriously as we have been? Where are the Cavs in your listing?
I think they're kind of in that 4 to 7 range, kind of same as they were last year. And again, at least they went on this winning streak because there's all these rumors that Donovan Mitchell's not happy. JB Bickerstaff's going to get the boot. Are they going to trade Donovan Mitchell? I think at least for now, those rumors are done. They're going to at least go ahead and make a run this season. They're going to try and get fully healthy. They've been banged up kind of all year long, too, and I think teams expected them to make this big jump, being the 4 seed last year, losing to the Knicks in the first round. I think this team is young, but they got that valuable experience. They didn't show it early, but now they kind of went on the streak. Me and Danny just said this is a tough game for them last night. This was a lock for the Bucks to win, to cover the spread. So I would kind of flush this. Yeah, I did. So I love this, but I think Cleveland, they're on the right trajectory now, and they seem to be playing better. They're getting healthier, so I don't think this is a panic game for anyone.
They're playing better, but I don't think they're still reaching expectation. They were one of the teams this offseason, everybody said, had a great offseason with the signings. Them, the Lakers, they had a great offseason. These two teams were the best. They won the summer, and you expected them to be better than last year. Right now, they're playing well. They're playing better, even with the injuries. I will say unfair. Darius Garland's out. Evan Mobley's out. So we won't see them the full health for a while, and we haven't seen them at full health. But with the fact that they added these additions from the summertime, we expected them to be better than last year, not in the same spot. So they are playing well. Sam Merrill's balling out. They're getting some from the other guys.
Surprise point guard Craig Porter, who's a stud.
Funny you should say that.
Yeah.
George Niang, we had on last
friend
time I
of
was
show.
here.
Look at that. Are we a Cavs
So they've
show
been
now?
playing well, but they're still not at the expectation that everybody from this past summer expected them to be at.
Well, they all right. So the Donovan Mitchell stuff, we can put that over here now. But will they be buyers at the deadline?
I mean, they don't have much to play with because when you think about it, they gave up a lot of assets to go get Donovan Mitchell. I mean, they're in the same boat as the Cavaliers and as the Bucks in a lot of ways. The Cavs and the Bucks, they made their big trade. They went out and got Donovan Mitchell, just like the Bucks went out and got Damian Lillard. And you give up assets in that, you give up players in that. So at this point, a lot of it is going to be internal. The one player that would have a level of interest is Karis LeVert. That's someone that's on a team, a controlled contract. Could you find a spot for him and potentially get a 3-and-D guy? But they made their moves in the summer, too, getting Niang and getting Max Strus.
It's tough, too, because we all know Boston, Milwaukee, Philly, but now Miami's kind of in the picture with DeRozan.
Of course they are.
Indiana's right there. The Knicks are playing good, so it's gonna be an uphill battle for them.
It's going to be fun.
Yeah, the East is good now.
Let's fast forward to the playoffs, shall we? We had a game last night, Suns, Mavs. No Kyrie, had a bad thumb. They crushed them, Phoenix did. 7th straight win. Outscored Dallas 43-20 in the third quarter alone. Devin with 46, 22 of those came in the third. Luka, 34, 8, and 9. They have lost 3 straight in Dallas. Chandler, do you want to share with the world what you came to the realization of during this game as far as what the Suns look like?
They looked really good. They look like this is the team that people are going to be scared of come postseason when they're clicking on all cylinders, when the big three's going, when they have different guy every single night that can go and get you 40 points. And this team was down, I think, at halftime last night. And then they started defending. They started moving the ball, making the extra pass. Guys stepped up. Bates Diop had a great game. Grayson Allen is, leading the league in 3-point percentage this year. He's balling. And then when you have a guy, and I still don't love Devin Booker. Devin Booker's probably the best shooting guard in the NBA. Why are they trying to make him a point guard? And I understand that's the hand they're dealt so far, but I do look for them to go and get a point guard and the deadline. And then, I like this team. I love them and the Clippers in the Western Conference Finals.
There it is.
I don't know. I'm not sold on one game. I like to see the big picture. This is a good game for them.
Yeah.
Hopefully they stay healthy. But as I said, they do need a point guard. This was a wounded Dallas team, no Kyrie, and Dallas is still trying to find their rhythm. They're up and down all season. So I can't base this off of one game. They did look good last night. But there are some signs of certain games that I've seen that I'm not sold on them yet. The Clippers, Denver for sure, but Phoenix, I think they still, not just a point guard, but they have some ways to go chemistry-wise to figuring it out.
Yeah, what for you is the big turnaround?
Well, I think health, the biggest thing is Bradley Beal being 100% healthy in the lineup. You can just tell early in the season when he was coming back from the back, you could see the start and go effect. And you you could tell he looked off, and then he had the ankle issue.
Yep.
But now he's back in the lineup, and you can tell. I mean, he's put together multiple 20 points points games in a row. He's looking good. He's feeling good. He's looking healthy. He's looking like himself. That's a big plus for this team. Booker and Kevin Durant being in the lineup helps too. And I know everyone talks about their point guard situation. I'm told the Suns' mindset is this: we want the ball to be in the hands of our three best players: Devin Booker, Bradley Beal, Kevin Durant. We don't want another player getting in the way of those three guys. They are fully comfortable in having them be the sole ball handlers for this team, sole playmakers for this team. Last night, 17 of 36 assists came from those three guys. Devin Booker, obviously, 46 points.
Yep.
He's 10-3 against Luka
He's
in
not
the
getting
regular
talked enough
season.
about. He's putting up some good numbers. I think he had 51, 52 the other night, and it's not a big.
Through like three quarters, I think.
They're not giving him enough credit this year. I don't know
You
why.
want him to have a
All-star
point guard.
votes.
You
I
want
do
it.
want him to have a point guard, but again, they're so good offensively. Do they need one? I think they do. I think they need someone to set the table, get them in spots, run offensive
For the
sets.
playoffs,
run
you know, it slows down.
and when it slows down, everyone's bogged down and they're getting double teamed. Last night it was crazy. They were picking on Luka all game long. They were getting in any sort of pick and roll. Whoever he was guarding, we're going to put him in a pick and roll, and we're going to go right at him. So that's a huge, huge concern
Was he?
for Dallas.
Let me guess. There was a lot of complaining then, as a result, or
Then there was a technical foul. So there was a
Yes.
technical foul and a possible fan ejection.
yep, saw that too. Was it a weight comment? It was a weight
He
shaming
told him
comment?
to get his fat ass on a
He didn't
treadmill.
like that, huh?
Can't be doing that. Although you could.
Is that what he actually said?
Yeah, that's what he
Alleged.
said.
We're going to take a quick break right here. When we come back, Cavaliers guard Craig Porter Jr. joins the show. Treadmill comments are the best.
Especially when you get offended.
I know, you can't get
Run it up, run it back, run it up.
Running it up, coming correct or I'll come at your neck.
Highlight cut right there.
Oh, that's right, from the Cleveland Cavaliers, Craig Porter Jr., not CP or CP. We have to determine that right now.
Nah,
Are
you
you
can-
CP for the rest of this interview? Is that fair?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah,
You can
we're
take
good. You could take it.
I'm
Okay,
washed up.
thanks. We're going to get to the basketball here in a second, but because Taylor Swift runs the world these days, you're a fan of Taylor Swift? Is that real?
Wow.
Hey, like I've told everybody else, it's really my girlfriend. Like I don't want to get.
It's okay to be, just be proud of it, man.
You could be a
Say it loud
Swiftie,
and
dude.
proud, man. If you're a Swiftie, bro, you'll own it.
Saying you're
know?
not a
No,
Swiftie is scary.
I'm not a Swiftie.
Okay,
I'm not.
okay.
Are
but
there
I
any
support
Swifties
it.
on the team that we can mock?
Probably George.
Probably George.
No, I don't,
definitely
realistically,
likes
I don't
Swiftie.
think there is.
Oh, good. See, now I feel better about the state of the league right now. I was a little bit worried about that. Thank you. Now I'm done with my Taylor Swift questions contractually. Done.
Craig, you guys are 26-16 despite last night's loss. Obviously playing at a high level, you're playing well. What has been your key, your guys' team's keys to success this season?
I mean, since this year started, we've had injuries, from the top to the bottom. And it's just really been a next up man mentality from everybody. And I've been on Twitter a lot looking at what the fans say, and they've just called it the power of friendship. And I think that's real, though, because, when you got a group of guys who can just connect on and off the court, it just makes, a team click in different ways. And I feel like that's what's been going on ever since these injuries happened.
Craig, I had JB Bickerstaff in Houston. I had him in Memphis. One of my closest friends. How's it been playing for him? I never had him as a head coach, so if he's an asshole, you can tell me.
No one will hear.
Nah, I mean, he's been nothing but great to me. I mean, coming in here as an undrafted rookie, you never know what to expect. But with certain situations that happen, I mean, he's just been somebody I can lean on. And, he's been super supportive and had, the most confidence in me for me to be starting and other things like that. So he just wants me to go out there and play my game. And, I couldn't ask for anything better than that.
You spoke of the injuries this season. You've had to play a bigger role with Darius being out. Speak about, obviously, your experience and how how it is playing with Don and Darius and how much you've learned from them.
I mean, it's been crazy. I mean, for me to even think I would have started, in my first 20 NBA games, it would have been, I would have thought anybody was lying if they told me that. But, you got guys like those. I went through the whole summer, training camp, all of that with them. And, it's a little different when me being 23, me and Darius are the same age. So it's kind of different when we talk and stuff. But they don't treat me like I'm someone who's did 1 year in college. They know I got a lot of knowledge and everything. But there's a lot of teaching points at times, but it's just great to have guys like those because, all-star level players, sometimes people might get the memo that they might be cocky, they might do certain things different, but they listen to me and I listen to them, and it's just the mutual respect. It's just the best part about it.
Craig, what's it like being a two-way player? And obviously you've been playing a lot in the rotation as well, but being a two-way guy, going back and forth with the G League at different points, what's the difference between those two worlds?
That's honestly a question that I really don't know how to answer because I haven't been sent to the G League at all. I don't even know how to answer.
I see how it is. You go to Paris and then you forget what G League is like. I
can tell you, you're starting point guard right now. You ain't going back to the G League, so that ship has sailed.
Yeah.
Obviously, you have Donovan Mitchell as well on your team. You mentioned him earlier. We all know how great he is. What's one thing that you've learned from playing alongside him, playing with him?
Just one of the things I picked up early on was his work ethic. I mean, every day he's in the gym. He's probably the first one in there every day, last one to leave, and he's working on the shots he takes in games, and he's going game speed, tiring himself out. So really, I just look at things like that, and I see what people say is really true. You put the work in, you're going to see the results, and just little things like that just stick to me because 5 years in college, you might have the wrong mindset coming into certain things, but at the same time, the process is the process, and seeing him do things like that is just special to me.
Oh, I'm happy hearing that. We're going to play a video right here because I want to know if this was purposeful on your part. This move right here, it's a bit of a Donovan Mitchell homage. Were you already doing this? Take us through it.
That's definitely a Don move.
That's the Don move. I mean, I just see him do it in practice all the time, and every time he does it, I don't know how it works. I mean, but it does, and I tried it, and hey, I got some applause from him, so I'm like, yeah, let me get into his bag a little
Don
bit.
standing up. You see Don in the back of that?
I'll see it.
Obviously, Craig, like you said, you went undrafted. Now you've worked your way into an NBA rotation. For you, did you come into the league with a chip on your shoulder, and how did you what was your mindset to get to this point?
I mean, it was a crazy just process, even going into the pre-draft stuff, because I was already had my mindset on going overseas because, being 23 and a lot of other factors that go into being drafted and getting into the NBA, I thought they weren't in my favor. But, I just one thing after another just kept happening and doors kept opening. And I mean, it's the process, and I just kept sticking with it and just fighting through everything and got me here. I told my agent, I'm ready to go overseas before the pre-draft workouts even started. And he was like, he looked at me kind of crazy, and I was like, I just didn't see a future really in the NBA. But he made some things happen, got me into the Portsmouth Invitational. And I mean, really after that, the rest is just taking over. So.
See, what's crazy is he's a perfect example of a 4-year, 5-year guy that's more NBA ready now to help a team like Cleveland than a 17, 18-year-old rookie that has all this potential. He's more ready right now. It goes both ways.
Well, yeah, we know. We did college for a while. I did 4 years. I had no choice.
I'm a 4-year guy too.
I'm a 4-year guy, so I understand. In your bio, it says that Rajon Rondo is one of your favorite players. I got a chance to play with him. I would love to have played with him in his prime and longer and more years. He's one of my favorite guys and one of the highest IQ guys I've been around. What makes him your favorite player?
I mean, he's one of those players, he doesn't have to score, and he's going to get you the ball in the spot you like. So, it's just one of those. He knows how to compliment everybody around him. He can control a game without shooting the ball. And, I mean, he can rebound. He can defend. He can really just do literally everything. And it's you don't have to look at the stat sheet to necessarily see the impact he made. And that's just what every team I've been on, I've had a different role because really up until my last year of college, I didn't really get to be that star player. So I really understood how to fit a role on a good team. So it was always second nature to me.
Smart young man. Yeah. The dying breed of the pure point guard.
Right.
You don't have many of those anymore in the league, so.
Greg, we pretty much ask everybody that comes on the show what's their welcome to the NBA moment. We both have one. Was there something in particular that you had where you were like, man, this is different, or something that was just crazy?
Probably. I don't think it was necessarily anything bad yet. I mean, I got kind of dunked on. But we'll save that.
But probably speak on the air.
But I'll probably just. Playing in crunch time against Joel Embiid and them in Philly. This was probably my first 14 games or something like that. And, just to even be out there And I mean, the atmosphere, I couldn't hear anything the coach was saying. You know, he's calling plays and I'm running half of them wrong. And I'm like, it was just so much happening. And it was just like, I'm really out here. So that was definitely a good welcome to the NBA moment.
Craig, Rising Stars game is coming up. Give us your pitch right now. Why do you belong in the Rising Stars game?
I mean, you know, I'm not too much for the persuade people to get me in. I mean, you know, the numbers speak for themselves. Not trying to be too cocky or anything like that, but I mean, there's not too many other people doing what I do, given the minutes I've gotten and everything like that. But I mean, it'll be great to get in that, but you know, I'd rather win an NBA championship.
There
There
it
you
is.
go.
There it is. Plus, you know what?
Well said.
A couple days off extra. Either way, you win.
Like a 4-year college.
Yeah.
You know?
7-3 on a two-way.
Craig, this has been awesome. Best of luck the rest of the way. We appreciate the time.
Good luck,
I
man.
appreciate y'all.
And we're taking a
Craig.
quick break. That man has a family when we come back.
Run it back, run it up, the running back.
Oh,
mean,
that man has a family. Rudy Gobert.
Put it on his head. Put it on his head.
All right.
He's a big bully.
Oh, on Nathan Mensah.
I want to see more of this from Rudy, man. He has to be
you
more of a bully.
Nathan Mensah.
Are you being sarcastic?
I feel like Rudy Gobert's had a good
top
year, though.
He's having a great year, but I'd like to see more of this from
Who,
him. 'Cause
Mensah?
Then he'll have people stop, trying to choke him.
Mensah.
Oh, I just
Rudy's
like
having it. You know what? The trade worked. Everyone was making fun of him last
That's
year.
what it is. We motivated him. He's welcome.
That was nasty.
That's all right.
Trey
That's
Lyles.
good. Ooh, where's that
Trey
young man's
tried to
The old
head? That's not-
classic take a charge teabag.
I do not like that.
Yeah.
Inside this.
I don't even have the parts, and I still don't like
Was he legal? He might have been outside the. No.
Even if this
Either
is
way.
a charge, do we show it on this and it's still a poster?
Yes, because it's
Absolutely.
still questionable
Absolutely.
placement of
He was outside for a
parts.
second and then ended up in. Yeah.
Might be a charge.
This one's fun. Whee!
What
D'Angelo
was he
Russell?
doing?
He tried to, right hand. At least he attempted the right hand layup.
Yeah, this
You don't
is
see
first
this
time
often.
and last time ever using
That was good.
using the right hand.
This must have been the first time James attempted a dunk with
Right?
his right hand like that. You
There's
always
no way he was dunking.
Nah, he was
this,
trying to
bro.
lay the ball, but I think he just thought D'Angelo wasn't going to play defense. Normally he thought.
It does look like he thought that.
D'Angelo's not going to jump.
This
D'Angelo's
is
like
crazy. I've never seen him do this.
Science!
Oh boy.
volleyball. That looks
Cheat code. Look at him. He doesn't even jump.
Doesn't need to. Why
Video
waste
game.
it?
This is a video game-ish
Oh,
type
did he
of play.
stare at him too?
That child over there, Chet.
Oof.
What's that?
Nasty.
Silence. There's
That was
more.
nasty. Oh, this is insane. How about San Antonio booing Giddy every time he touched the ball last?
Yo, he gets booed everywhere now.
That's cool.
It's I mean, we got some closure, but not a lot of
Let's
closure.
not
I don't
touch.
know what's
Let's
going on.
not touch
Well,
on
he
that.
did,
He
so
treated him
I don't
like a
know why I'm
child.
not allowed to.
Take the ball from somebody like that.
Damian Jones. Ooh, you know what? Anytime. That's a good one.
That was Giannis?
Yeah, that's
He's gonna put that on his wall.
Fun fact
Right?
about Damian Jones,
Keeping that.
big
Put that
anime
one.
guy.
that is a fun fact.
Obsessed with anime.
Wait, the good anime or like the
Is
the
there
weird?
good anime?
There's like sus anime that's like
Whoa, it's all whack.
okay. As he
But
pisses off an entire.
Oh, this is insane. This is like
Dirk
the Dwight
Jones Jr.
Howard.
Ooh.
This is the Dwight Howard throw-in. He might not even touch the rim.
All right, that's
Dirk Jones is a crazy athlete.
there's a discrepancy.
This is the only play Nurkic did not flop on all last night. This man, he could have got 8 flopping fines last night.
But I wonder if is there a limit on flops per game per fine?
Watch him
think so.
stay vertical even after the dunk.
I don't think so.
Do we know that? Like if you do 4 flops in a game, can you be fined?
You should be
4 times?
ejected.
Okay, well then
You should be ejected.
Protected.
we can do that as well. Oh, we got NBA All-Starters coming up. Is that true? God, that seems like right around the corner, and it's later today. We want your picks, guys. It's 3 front court players, 2 guards. Chandler, you will go first in the East.
Yes, I will go.
You always seem
My
surprised.
starting point guard is Tyrese Halliburton. I
Okay.
think just the rise of this kid from last year to the Wally Szczerbiak comments to leading the league in assists, 12.6 assists. He's made himself a bona fide star in the NBA. I love him. I think he's up there in votes as well. He's going to be the starting point guard in the East.
Okay.
Then I went with the duo here. I rarely go 2 guys here in the starting lineup, but the Celtics have been the best team in the year, of the season, all year long. Both these guys are dominating. They're more efficient this year. They do it all. They're two-way players. I got them in the shooting guard, small forward spot.
Ooh.
Then we go Giannis. He's obviously doing his thing, dominating, starting at the 4 with a new coaching change. I expect his numbers to even get better.
So unfair.
And then you're looking at the MVP of the season, back-to-back starting center, Joel Embiid, which that's a nasty team.
That is a rough
That is a
team.
nasty,
looking
nasty
at
team. They
Okay.
can defend, they can shoot, they're big.
Good Lord.
I like
That
them.
is nice.
Is there anybody that you were sort of wavering on that you left off?
Yeah, the point guard. I like Jalen Brunson a
so
lot.
close.
I
So
think the
close.
Knicks are playing really, really good. He's averaging like 26 points a game.
So fun.
He's deserving. I mean, Tyrese Maxey you can throw in there. I know Trae Young has a lot of votes. I think he's kind of behind those three. But yeah, I think you reward winning with Tatum and Brown. And then,
right.
oh, I see you got something different.
My
there.
list isn't too far off from yours.
Yeah.
Only
It's a bit of
difference is
over-
with
oh, you
Donovan
got- okay.
Mitchell. I did favor with the waiver with the Jalen Brunson of throwing him in there over Tyrese or Donovan because they've been winning. He's been playing extremely well. Donovan had a couple small injuries and sicknesses, but obviously Jason Tatum, Boston's #1 team in the league.
Fair.
Giannis MVP level. Joel should be back-to-back MVP, but Tyrese he has played at an unbelievable level for the first half of the season, and it's hard not to put him there. He's one of the very few, or people say true point guards, but assist-first point guards, it seems, in the league.
All-star vote, it starts too early for me. Like,
It feels
if guys
like it,
are
yeah.
all-stars and then like not all-NBA, or guys don't make the all-star team and then are like second team all-NBA, I'm like, how does that, like clearly it's going down too
But when
early.
would you not? You have to start it. early,
Yeah, you do,
just
but
because-
it's just going to be an ongoing issue.
Yeah, it's
like
weird.
DeAndre Jordan wasn't an all-star, but then he was third team all-NBA. It's like, that doesn't make sense.
No, it doesn't make sense at all. All right, the East looks pretty good. West, Chandler, you got it up there.
West here, yeah, I like Shea. And by the way, if I didn't have Joel MVP, this kid's got to be right there. The things he's doing, the rise, the way he controls his team. He's 25 years old, and he's that leader. He's that vet. He's taking this young team to the #1 spot in the Western Conference, so you can't overlook that. He should definitely be the starting point guard. It's tough because Steph Curry is obviously out there, but I think you can't overlook what this kid's done. And you look at Luka, same thing. The gaudy numbers he's doing with with Kyrie out, the amount of scoring he's doing as well, and then leading that team to where they are is pretty impressive. Kevin Durant in and out of the lineup. He's going to be consistent though. He's one of the better players in the NBA. He's got to be in there. And to me, this was a tough one.
Really?
I think LeBron. I think he's been so good and so consistent. And I think the age. I think it helps. I think people are going to want him in the game.
Oh, like a
They're going to make it more. It's
emotional.
more impressive what he's doing than anyone else at that age. Putting up the numbers he's doing, the big blow-up games. So I think LeBron deserves a spot here. And then you got Joker, who's also right there in the MVP talks, who's probably the best player in the NBA all around. He'll be the starting center.
Danny, you have overlap? A little bit?
No. I mean, I said my list is a little bit
Yours is
different than
different.
the East. So yes,
I like
obviously we have Shai and Luka in the top spots, at the guard spots. OKC's been playing extremely well. Nobody could predicted them being the top of the West by All-Star break. Luka obviously putting up, but Kawhi, the difference I have, Anthony Davis and Kawhi Leonard.
Yeah.
They've been available this year, and there's nobody better at their positions when they're healthy and playing basketball. Kawhi, one of the best two-way players we've seen in this game. Anthony Davis as well. So that's why I have them two, and obviously Jokic, MVP caliber player. And I don't disagree with Chandler. He is probably the best all around.
You know what's tough too is Anthony Edwards. Like
It's tough. There's a lot of guys, yeah.
That team's killing it.
So Bron and Anthony Edwards were the guys that I wavered with.
Yeah.
Obviously, Bron should be a captain. I think he's still going to be a captain regardless of being in the starting
Yeah,
five.
that makes sense.
But I think these guys earn their spot with being healthy and the way they've been playing, Kawhi and Anthony.
Okay, I'm looking at these. I just feel like the East feels stronger.
Ooh.
Like if I'm picking your two rosters,
Yeah, I like the East.
I know. Seems like
Like
I'm
the
picking
East.
the East.
Like
Shams,
the
I'm
East
putting
to
money
win.
on the East at that one. But no Kawhi. I'm surprised you didn't pick like Kawhi or AD, like neither.
Yeah, it's tough. That was my either. I could have went with Kawhi. I liked Anthony Edwards a lot, but again, Kawhi, he's been the best player on the Clippers. Who we know they have, since the trade they had some struggles, but he's been consistent and he's been healthy. He missed a couple games, but he also deserves to be on the list. I mean, you could take 9 or 10 guys. It's hard. Yeah, I mean.
Don't touch that one either. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, don't touch me. Another edition of Convince Me.
Oh, that is bad.
What is wrong with you today?
Yeah.
Yo, the reserves is going to be a bloodbath.
That's- There was a game last night between the Thunder and the Spurs. Thunder crushed them. That's fine. 140-114. Chet Holmgren, 17-9, 3 blocks. Victor Wembanyama, 24 points, 12 rebounds, and 4 blocks. We've got numbers coming up, Chandler, but I'll ask you, what does he need to do to convince you that he's just the rookie of the year?
I just think he needs to play more. I think he needs to play more minutes.
More minutes?
I think he needs to play more games, play back-to-backs. But also the winning games, it matters. And I think that's the kind of the quota for some of these MVPs, and the agenda has to be winning games, or else they would just give the MVP every year to a guy that puts up really good numbers on a bad team.
He's not just a guy.
No, he's not.
putting up
Listen, he's
really
a
good
freak.
numbers.
He's going to be the face of the NBA in 2 to 3 years. He's unbelievable. I just think when you look at the big scale of their team, the success of the team, that has a lot of impact on these individual awards. It's easy. It's not
But
easy.
should it?
But it's easier to put up these numbers. Would he put up these same numbers on the Thunder?
Yes.
No, I don't think he would.
Why not?
Because I think he's got a guy averaging 33 points a game on his team. He's got other studs on his team.
It would be even
Jalen-
better if he was on that team.
Jalen Williams.
They would.
Maybe.
The team would be maybe even better. But
Yeah.
I'm saying his statistical numbers, maybe they wouldn't even be as good as Chet's. You know, so like it's tough when you're on a bad team,
Yes.
a rebuilding team. So I think winning is the ultimate goal. So if you're on a losing team like them, again, he's got a great game. He can do it all. He's great defensively. But I just think the lack of wins is going to hurt him with votes.
Winning should be involved in any category when it comes to awarding someone, a group, team, or individual. You always have to have
Okay.
winning should come into play. But in this award, it's a little skewed because most rookies that are
Yeah.
good don't come into good teams. So Chet is in a different, unique
They
situation.
also don't have a year to marinate either.
Exactly. So with that being said, I think winning shouldn't take as much of an impact on this award as much as it should, but winning does help. But, you know, most rookies that are good get drafted to worse teams, and you can't punish a guy for
Yeah.
being
He's
on a team
right.
that's
With
not
the rookie,
great.
the rookie of the year, it's different than making all-star. Like Cade Cunningham's averaging 23, 7, and 6. Those are all-star numbers, but he's on the Pistons, so he's not going to get one vote because they're not winning
Right.
games. You know what I
Right.
mean? So numbers are one thing, team success is another, but I think you look at it collectively when you go for an award like this.
Yeah.
And when you have the disparity of one of the worst teams and literally the best team in the NBA or the West right now,
Yeah,
I think that guy gets the edge.
for sure.
What if? Can we show the chart? Because here's the thing: there's the chart. Because we know the minutes, right? He's playing like 28 average minutes, and then you've got Chet that's playing an average of some 30, a little over 30. But if it was per 36 minutes a season,
Those
this
are
season,
MVP numbers. Those
I
are
mean,
insane.
he dominates them.
But this is what I mean by playing more. If he were to play more, and if he were averaging that on the right side, I don't care about his wins. I think that is so glaring. Those are so insane numbers. I think he was rookie of the year with those numbers. But he's not. This is all hypothetical. It's just saying if he plays more minutes.
Now, are these numbers different if they're not per 36?
Yeah.
This is just assuming at what he's doing now. If he played more minutes, he'd do the same thing. Like, yeah,
Can we see his real numbers?
Yeah.
Like we don't have the 36.
Yeah, well, that's the point to me is he's not playing enough minutes to where he would be putting up crazy numbers if he got those reps, but they're smart. So Antonio knows this isn't about the rookie of the year. He
Right.
probably doesn't even care about the rookie of the year. He cares about winning, getting better, and staying healthy.
And reading books.
And reading books.
I will
Not
say,
to be bothered after 9 p.m.
I think we might see a Rookie of the Year push coming from Victor Wembanyama. You know why? Because his minutes restriction is going up to
I like
30
this.
coming up, and he's soon to be off that back-to-back restriction as well. So statistically,
He deserves it, no doubt. But again, if there wasn't Chet and he wasn't on one of the better teams, I think there's who would even be third.
You think Chet, in the quiet of his own room when he's by himself, thinks Wemby should be the rookie of the year?
No.
No. I think
lying,
he thinks
then.
his team
Chet
sucks,
seems
my
very, very
team's good,
competitive.
I win, this is my award.
Yeah.
And I think he'll be pissed if they do happen to do the thing we talked about.
Do you,
yesterday.
Man,
do
they
you
might do
remember
the toe
Chet's
thing.
first, I don't know, his first interview, what he said about who he thought was the best player in the league?
Oh, that's true. He did
You know.
say that, looking all weird and lurchy.
Me in 4 months.
Yeah,
so
that was right,
I don't
that
think
was
he's
right.
looking at Wemby and saying,
competitive
yeah.
dude right there.
It
I
is
like
fun.
it.
It makes like this rookie of the year race
Like
interesting.
real.
I never cared who won rookie of the year. Now I kind of do.
Okay,
Now I
so-
hope this kind of creates a rivalry.
That's what I was going to ask you.
You
You
know
think
what I
this will
mean?
be a good forever
I
rivalry?
think so. I think the league is in great hands with rivalries. When you have the two best players are basically centers, Joel and Jokic.
Yep.
Now you got Anthony Edwards and Shea kind of going at
Love
it, two
it.
great guards. Then you got Luka and Devin who also go at it.
Yeah.
Now let's
Forever.
throw these two skinny unicorns in the mix and let them go beef. I
like
love
the
it.
skinny-
That would be 4 epic rivalries.
What is the best currently going?
It's got to be Devin, Luke.
Yeah,
right?
I was gonna
They're
say
always
Book.
chippy. They talk trash.
I feel like it's Dylan Brooks, LeBron James.
Dylan Brooks and everybody else.
And everyone else. Although I noticed when they were playing in New York, there's no one on New York for him to sort of, there's no real like villain on the New York Knicks. So
probably
he
the
just didn't
crowd.
have anyone.
Yeah, the crowd.
Yeah, it was like the crowd, and they couldn't do that either because they were losing. So it's just like, oh man, I didn't get the good Dylan Brooks. You have to pick Wemby or Chet to start a franchise.
Wemby, it's not even close. I
Okay.
think he's the best. I think and Wemby
Across the board.
against everybody. Yeah, I don't
Against
care
everyone.
if it's Luka. I don't care if it's anybody. I'm taking Wemby. I think
Anyone in the league.
anybody in the league, I'm taking this dude right now for the future.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm taking him.
Wow.
Yeah, I have to agree with Wemby over Chet, but I don't know about anybody in the league.
Who
would
are
you-
you taking?
yeah.
Who's you taking over him?
We get Jokic, we get Joel, we get Giannis. There's a lot of guys in their prime that I would say
That you would start.
Yeah.
That's a good,
and
fun
Edwards,
question.
the potential. And
SGA.
7'5" guys, their
scary.
bodies,
It's
it is
scary.
scary. You just never know the longevity of
fair, too.
their play. They usually don't last long. Yao was the last one we seen.
Yeah.
And he had a good, 8, 9 years?
Yeah, you know what's nice is Joel's been healthy too.
Which is still a
We're
good career.
concerned about
8,
like
9 years, great
the
career.
foot, and now that hasn't even been a
Let's
question.
cross our fingers.
I
know,
also
right? I
love
almost
too,
don't like
like
talking about
it's
it.
not like this is a rivalry because of how they play, their body type. It's not
They're
like
freaks.
Exactly. So they're
Like
very
good freaks.
similar in their builds and their game and what they do, how they block shots, how they're long, how they both have they play very similar. So I think this has the makings to be the best rivalry
For sure.
You ready for some convince me? Hypothetical time.
man.
These are. I mean, we're kind of playing it all.
These are hard.
Here. They're hard. Well, there's no wrong answer. That's the good news, Chandler. The number of three-pointers a team attempts should be capped.
I like this because I think Steph Curry in ways has ruined the game. So now a lot of guys are shooting these awful shots. And I think if you cap the three-pointers, then it's basically the NBA like the 70s and 80s. So it's more physical. There's not as many three-pointers, obviously. So you're getting to the basket more. There's more, more flagrant fouls. More exciting to watch than just guys hoisting up low percentage 35-footers.
It'd be so weird to enforce that too.
That being said, I
Like,
think there
that's
should be
it.
more, and I think there should be a 4-point line because it's.
Well, maybe we'll get to that
Yeah.
one. That's a weird. Okay, Danny, you're next. Convince me half of a team's games should be played outdoors.
This is a tough one to convince you. But I will say some of the best atmospheres I ever played in were outdoors.
Really?
In New York. Rucker Park,
Yes.
Kingdom. You play
Did
on.
you play on the boat?
I did not play on the
Oh,
boat.
yeah.
That was
They play on
past,
a
that was
yacht.
after me. That was Harrison Barnes and those guys played on the yacht. But I said
That's a
lot of
vibe.
when the
That's a
lockout
vibe.
happened, KD went up into Harlem. He played during the lockout. Played in the street outdoor courts.
Him and John Lucas the
That'd be
third.
awesome.
They had a hell of an
points.
atmosphere. So those atmospheres, I think the game needs and loves, and really it just wants. And you see guys this past summer playing Bron playing the Drew League last year. I think it was
Yeah.
last summer. It's great for the community. It's great, and they put it on TV.
I know,
It's
it's kind of
another thing to
awesome.
stream, but I think it's something you could do for definitely summer ball.
Yeah,
I like it. Hockey does it.
I actually like this a lot. I think obviously there's a lot of issues with like weather and injuries and
security.
things like that. Yeah, security.
It's
for
secure. Well, you play them all in Miami.
But I do like it. It gives a different atmosphere, a different vibe, but kind of it's. I think it would actually be really really cool to have like one game a season at
Out in
Rucker
Venice?
Park or like
Yeah.
Venice, yeah.
White
Some
man
meatheads,
cave.
The hardest
some
part.
meatheads doing pull-ups in the background.
Oh,
with,
that
like,
would be
you know
awesome.
what I mean?
The
That'd be awesome.
rollerblading and the
Yeah.
fat. Here's the hard part, though, because if you watch the hockey, the outdoor classics, there's the rink, and then every spectator's like 1,000 miles back from. So that's the hard part, is to make it a spectator. But for TV purposes, it's beautiful. So maybe you can do that. Chandler convinced me each team should have one contract that does not impact the salary cap.
I love this.
I love this a lot. I think they should do it. Do more of the MLB structure where there's no salary cap at all. You can sign any player to what you think it's worth. You can load up teams. And depending on what one team does, another team can counter it by giving, another guy
That's nuts.
$200 million.
Yeah.
Like these soccer contracts we're seeing. I think it would make obviously the league more top heavy because only certain like
Sure.
Balmers of the owners would do it. But I love it. I think guys make a super team. I'd like to see this East versus the West team in like a full season. All of them making 200.
Teams would die,
I don't
though,
know.
right?
Yeah,
As a
I mean,
result of this, like.
I like it more for veteran, and I may be a little biased because I'm older now, but I think teams need more veteran leadership.
All right.
And I think for the groups that have young teams, the Portland, teams that, and I feel like, the league is obviously getting younger. I don't know if it was forcibly getting younger, but we're seeing some not great basketball at times where there's blowouts, and I think it's because inexperience and maturity. If you use this position for a player to come in to be able to help the team with
For
that.
guys like us.
Yeah.
He's so practical.
Bring Chandler on.
Yeah.
Help.
And there's no, I don't count.
And it doesn't go against the
against
cap. You know, so
doesn't
you
hurt.
So then do it for
finding
free.
anybody
You
else.
could just do it for free out of the goodness of your heart.
Well, I'm actually busy that weekend.
Okay,
I
yeah,
got to
fair
clean out
enough.
my garage.
Well, who would be
always the garage.
I know the garages must
Always
be a
the
mess.
garage.
Who would be the highest paid player if we did this today?
I know who Chandler wants to remove off the salary cap.
Of the entire NBA, like who would
Yeah.
get the most? Probably Jokic.
Interesting. All right.
I mean, you got to go with the best player, right?
I mean, yeah, it's up to you.
Like
guys.
if I'm
I don't know.
starting one team right now,
You're
or if I
basing it
could
off
play
merch.
with one player right now, it's the dominating big that's also a point guard that gets his teammates involved, that can do it all. He sees the floor. He's a brilliant, brilliant basketball savant.
Yeah,
I
it's
think
either
it's gotta be
Jokic or Luka. It's one of those two guys, I think.
All right. I kind of like the idea of it. Danny convinced me to prevent tanking, one lottery team should lose their draft pick.
I love this actually because nobody wants to see bad basketball. People hate watching or going to games. People are not even going to the games of the teams that are losing or losing on purpose.
That's
so
true.
in order to, and the lottery I think should be changed a little bit as well because certain teams get the higher picks that shouldn't get it. The worst teams should get it, but in a sense, we shouldn't have teams trying to lose or not caring to win. And we should have teams fighting it out. We should have not a play-in tournament or play-out tournament where the worst teams play against each other to get the top pick. And I think that could be something that could be
I'll
fun.
be lit.
That would be fun.
I'll be lit.
Picture Dallas last year. Mark got
Yes.
fined, right? This guy, he purposely lost to then not make the playoffs. But then if he were to lose that pick, he wouldn't have done that. But then this wasn't implemented.
I mean,
so he
he-
got Derek Lively.
He looked out. He looked
That
out in
worked
a lot of
out.
ways.
It helped him by purposely being bad. So I agree with Danny. I like this. I think they should.
Man, if it
you
doesn't
shouldn't be
make sense.
rewarded.
Have a play-out tournament. You know,
shouldn't
all the
be
bad
yeah.
teams gotta
Yeah.
have it to get the higher picks.
And I do like
winner
that.
gets number 1 pick, second gets number 2 pick.
But I even like, okay, Detroit and Washington, you guys both are horrible this year.
Yeah.
You play, and the winner gets the first pick.
There's 16 in the playoffs. And there's
I don't hate
another
it.
14 out of the playoffs.
Yeah.
Right? The 14 have a tournament.
Another
Yeah,
tournament.
the Spurs, you're so bad last year, you still have to earn and win a game to get Wemby.
Fine.
Ratings would be lit because the audiences
But it won't
sure
be a
would
series.
want to
Don't
know
make it
I mean,
a
One
playoff
game.
series. One
about-
game.
if their team is going to get the number 1 pick, right?
But let me ask you this. Would there be a conflict because some of the guys that are currently on this roster aren't going to be here next season when the rookie would be there, so why do I care?
True. That would
always
be
a
an
money
issue,
incentive.
But we're
I
convincing
think
you
of the-
why.
I think-
Michelle, not why
There's
not.
always a money
You want to do your own segment?
There's always a money incentive.
I'm just trying to think, guys. I'm trying to think. Chandler, this one's weird. Teams should have the option to not take free throws when fouled.
I'm the only way I could possibly convince you is that everyone likes buzzer beaters. So if there's a time where you can foul when you're up 3 to make the people shoot free throws, and then that would eliminate that. You would have to play it out, and then possibly there's more heroics at the end of games that would
All
make
right.
it more exciting. It would force more overtime because you can't just foul and win by 1. So that would be my only thing. But I think it's stupid. But I guess, if you're down 3 and you get free throws, you can have the option to, no, I'm not shooting my free throws. I need a 3. So it makes sense, but it's never going to happen.
That
I'm
one's-
sorry,
that
I
one's
got
too hard.
nothing. Yeah.
I got nothing. I tried so hard. We ran out of time. I can only tell you that the last one is complaining about a call should
Yeah.
result in an automatic tee.
Ejection.
Yes.
Ejection. They're never going to change their mind. Stop talking to the refs.
Although the games would last so long.
Yeah.
And then we'd have no one left on the bench by the time it was all said and done. That's going to do it for us. It's Thursday, so we won't be back till Monday. Enjoy your weekends. We will see you soon. Danny, you rock.
Thank you.
DJ in the house.
Oh, look at that. Big solo shot.
Yeah.
I'm actually out on that.
Thanks for having me. Of course.
DJ, you killed it, bro.
You're such a
Run it
dick.
back, yeah.